guys, my name is Isaac Raleigh. I am a Wyldlife leader for Castle North and Castle South Middle School. I've been leading Wyldlife for about 2 years now. I'm currently a freshman at USI and I'll be a sophomore in the upcoming semester. So today we're going to be looking at the Gospel of Mark. More specifically, we're going to be looking at chapter 5, verses 1 through 19. I highly encourage you guys to grab your Bible if you would. So I'll give you guys just a second to go ahead and pause the video and do that. Alright, now that we've all got our Bibles, let's just go ahead and look right into this. So the chapter title for this is Jesus Restores a Demon-Possessed Man. They went across the lake to the region of Gerasenes. When Jesus got out of the boat, a man with an impure spirit came from the tomb to meet him. This man lived in the tombs, and no one could bind him anymore, not even with a chain. For he had been chained hand and foot, but he tore the chains apart and broke the irons from his feet. No one was strong enough to subdue him. Night and day, among the tombs and in the hills, he would cry out and cut himself with stones. When he saw Jesus from a distance, he ran and fell on his knees in front of him. He shouted at the top of his voice, "What do you want with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? In God's name, don't torture me." For Jesus had said to him, "Come out of this man, you impure spirit." Then Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" "My name is Legion," he replied, "for we are many." And he begged Jesus again and again not to send them out of the area. A large herd of pigs was feeding in the hill nearby. The demons begged Jesus, "Send us among the pigs, allow us to go into them." He gave them permission, and the impure spirits came out of the man and went into the pigs. The herd of about 2,000 in number rushed down the steep bank and fell into the lake and were drowned. Those tending the pigs ran off and reported to the nearby town and countryside, and the people went out and to see what had happened. When they came to see Jesus, they saw the man who had been possessed by the legion of demons sitting there, dressed and in his right state of mind, and they were afraid. Those who had seen it told the people what had happened to the demon-possessed man and about the pigs as well. Then the people pleaded for Jesus to leave the area. As Jesus was getting onto the boat, the man who had been demon-possessed begged to go with him. Jesus did not let him go, but he said, "Go home to your own people and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and how he has had mercy on you." Okay, so now that we got those verses right, I'll just give you guys a little bit of a revised version. So basically, Jesus gets off the boat with his disciples and he encounters this demon-possessed man. And the man says, just like, "Don't harm me." And Jesus is like, "Well, I won't, but I'll send you into these pigs over here." So he agrees to do that. And the pigs all go into, and it says it's about 2,000 some pigs. And so all the pigs go off into this lake, and they all drown and die, basically getting rid of the demons. And so this leaves the man completely healed of the demon and in his right state of mind. But the townspeople see what happens, and the few people that did see what happened go and spread the word. And many people come and confront Jesus because they're confused and afraid because he just healed this man. But also, probably more so, they're mad because Jesus just killed all these pigs. And that was probably a lot of the food for the town. And yeah, they were probably upset because, it says right afterwards, they pleaded for him to leave. And so, I wouldn't be too happy if I lost all my food. So the people say, "Jesus, leave. We don't want you here anymore." And he agrees to it. So he says, "Okay, I'm leaving." And then as he's leaving, the purified man comes up and says, "Jesus, will you please take me?" And I just don't want to be here anymore. But Jesus says, "No, you've been blessed, and go ahead and spread the word that God has shown mercy on you." Okay, so we've already read this twice now. So what does that mean for us? So we could sit here and read this all day, but I'm sure you guys want to know how this is applicable to you and what the meaning behind all of it is. So I'm going to kind of touch on two different things. So the first one is why God is the answer to our needs and our problems. So as soon as Jesus gets on this island, he is greeted by this demon-possessed man. Not necessarily greeted, but he just encounters him. So this man basically begs him, "Don't torture me, don't do anything to harm me. If anything, just send me into the pigs." So these demons are insanely powerful. You could tell because the people will try to bind this man. They will try to fend him off, but he's obviously overcome all of them and just shown his dominance. So they just kind of let him roam in the hills and in his own area. So they're just like, "Screw this dude, I don't want to mess with this guy." So obviously he's some authority to people even, and it's 2,000 demons. So he's got some power here, but yet he comes to Jesus as soon as he gets off that boat and is quivering at his feet saying, Lord, please don't hurt me. So if this man who is possessed by thousands of demons is quivering at the feet of Jesus, I think there's something to be said about Jesus and God's power in this situation. So if this super powerful demon is scared of Jesus and knows his power, and the man at the end of the story is healed from these demons, what's to say that Jesus can't solve our own problems? I mean, it's pretty obvious in the story that this man has been shown some kind of mercy and that he has come out a new person from his encounter with Jesus. And I think, not to that degree, we're not going to be healed for, we're not demon possessed currently. I hope not, at least, to where we need Jesus to take demons out of us. But we all have issues to some degree, and we can all turn to Jesus for those situations. Because if he can take out thousands of demons from a person and cast them into the pigs and drown the pigs, I think he can deal with pretty much any issue from that point on. So yeah, I just think that in our situations, we can always look to him for the answers that we need through prayer, through reading the Bible, just through different ways of expressing our feelings and problems to him. And then the second point that I want to touch on through this is, even though we may be doing all that prayer, we may be doing all of our reading, God's way isn't always our way. And it's pretty apparent in the story if you can't tell already. So these demons are pleading for Jesus not to hurt them. But yet he sends them into these pigs and they're killed off. So there are three different kind of pleas throughout the story. The first one is the demon saying, look, Lord, send us into the pigs and don't hurt us. And so Jesus kind of agrees to that, sends them into the pigs. But I mean, that isn't really necessarily a win for Jesus. It's a win for the guy for sure. Like, the guy has the demons out of him. Like, he's cool after that. But Jesus kills all the pigs, and the townspeople aren't necessarily happy with that. That's like all their livestock that are just killed off. So that kind of puts Jesus in like bad relations with the townspeople. And so that's kind of a lose situation for Jesus there, but a win situation for the guy, definitely. So that's just like a weird way that Jesus kind of didn't really do what was expected. I would say I wouldn't do that because that would kind of be a negative effect towards the townspeople. So that's kind of a weird way to do something. So kind of bear with you guys. So the next plea is, Jesus, please leave our place. So Jesus gets there for a hot second, like literally hardly any time. He heals that guy, well, kind of heals him, puts the demons into the pigs, kills the pigs, whatever. And then there's bad relations with the townspeople, and then Jesus like immediately leaves. So kind of domino effect here. It's like, okay, he kills the pigs, now he's got bad relations with the people, and the people don't even want him there. I'm sure he probably came there to spread the word, and the people are just like telling him to leave. So that's like a double negative for Jesus, just like, okay, well, I made these people mad, and now they're telling me to leave. Now I can't spread the word of God. And so it didn't work out for him. But this last plea is, Jesus, will you please let me come onto your boat and go with you? This is the purified man. And Jesus says no. Whereas, like, if it was me, I mean, I'm not saying I'm Jesus, but if I was in that situation, I would let this dude come on. I'm like, yeah, dude, you're cool. Like, you just got healed, and like, I want you to follow me and like see what I'm doing. But Jesus says no. Stay here and tell everyone the mercy that God has shown on you. So Jesus says to this man, no, I want you to stay behind. Instead, I want you to use your story as a testimony to other people in order to promote the doings of Jesus. And so, do we know if this man did this? Not necessarily, we don't. We can assume that he did, but we don't know exactly, just based on the story. However, as we go on throughout Mark, picking up in Mark chapter 6, verse 53, Jesus, in a similar situation, comes across the Sea of Galilee, much like he did in the previous story, and he gets off this boat, and he's greeted by not a demon-possessed man, but rather thousands of people who know him by name and are bringing people on mats who are sick, different kind of illnesses, to Jesus and asking Jesus to heal them. So what does that mean? I mean, we could conclude that, okay, this man probably did his job. He probably went to people joyful that he's been restored and proclaiming, okay, look what this Jesus did in my life. And he can do it to yours too. He did something so much greater, but he can do it to your life, even if the issue isn't nearly as big. And so people heard about this and they knew where he was coming and they waited for him. And so that kind of makes you think, okay, so maybe Jesus knew what he was doing whenever he told this guy to stay. And maybe he knew what he was doing whenever he cast this demon out, because that story could propel onwards and reach more people than what maybe him preaching to that small town could have done. And so him casting out that demons was kind of questionable, but it gave that man a story in order to spread the word. And then him killing all those pigs and having bad relations with that town was also questionable, because it cast Jesus out of that town where he was probably going to spread word. However, the third thing, he told that man to stay, which was questionable in my eyes, but ultimately Jesus knew what was going to happen. He said, I know that this man will spread the word, and he's going to reach a lot more people than what I'm going to be doing in this small town. So ultimately, those 3 different pleas were all, in my eyes, very odd. It wasn't what I expected, and it probably wasn't what you guys would expect to happen. However, Jesus thinks differently than we do, and he knows how things are ultimately going to end up, and that's true for everything. What we want isn't exactly what we get, and it's not always for the best, what we want. And so, but Jesus' way is always the best. He knows exactly what we need, not what we want. And so, he is ultimately going to give us what we need in life in order to be the most full and satisfied people that we can be. And so I truly believe this, and I think any of your guys' leaders and any devout Christian will believe this as well. And so, I hope you guys can look to this story as something to fill you up, especially during these days. I know it's hard, not being social. And I just hope you guys can find some reassurance in these stories. The Warwick County Young Life DM is always open. You guys can always text a leader if you need help or understanding stuff. And we're always here for you guys. Thank you guys for listening.